Yeah, I don't think it's going to go for an hour somehow.
Welcome to the podcast. Damn it.
If only they'd take the penis out of my ass, honestly.
We'll segue into that in a minute. Right, I'm going to take a really quick piss and then we'll get this thing started. Alright, so shall we give this fucking Raz then? Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, everybody. My name's Keegs, and welcome to podcast number 21 on the 15th of the 6th, 2015. Right, it's just me and Xenon once again.
Me and Keegs doing the We Play podcast live.
Doing a rather intimate night. Intimate podcast.
Should we always call the ones that was only two of us intimate rather than we couldn't get anyone else to come in?
It's cute, right?
It works for me. Cool. All right. Well, you got anything else to?
What are we starting off with, Xenon?
Are we gonna? Oh, let's.
No, I'm.
You're easy. It's difficult to do when you don't have the thing in front of you. So let's start from the start. Our first thing. Well, actually, I'll do the Q&A stuff first. If you've got any questions, you can tweet them live to us at KeegsKegel or at Xenon_ST during the podcast, or if you want to leave a comment below, I do try and keep an eye on them as we go. So that's that.
I'm watching intently.
First news item we have is I think we'll just do a general Steam news roundup. We could probably do this every week because there's always Steam news going on.
Always Steam news.
There is always something steamy going on. What should we lead?
I don't know. Mine are all mixed up, and they're probably not in the same order as yours.
Well, I just had general Steam stuff. So, do you want to touch on what we spoke about last week with the refunds?
Oh yeah, Steam refunds. Yeah, so that's been in full swing now. People have started to cash in on their refunds, and indie gamers, well,
indie developers.
Indie developer. I say that wrongly, but some developers have started a bit of an uproar. It's been less than I expected. I thought it was going to be a whole riot, but there's only been a few that have come out of the woodwork about it.
Yeah, in general, I think, like, we spoke about this last week, and we sort of said, I think this is going to be a case, like a very polarizing experience, where you'll have the big game developers who really don't give a fuck because of the 2 hour, the 2 hour refunds. Not really, like, you generally know in the first half an hour to an hour whether or not whether you're going to like the game and going to keep playing.
Yeah.
But with indie developers and indie games, even 2 hours, you can almost, a lot of games you'll actually finish in that time and then get your refund back. So, yeah, we were expecting a bit more of an outcry than there was. Some people there was a few images going around the internet this week where there's graphs of sales dropping straight off, like off a cliff as soon as the refunds were implemented, which were later found to be perhaps not as accurate as they could be, or misrepresented.
Less than that. They're taken out of context, because although yes, they have had a drop in sales and refunds.
In one particular case, it was more of a, it was unrelated to the Steam refunds. It was actually they had just finished coming off a Steam sale where their game was on sale. So
yeah, they had a discount in their game, and next thing, oh no, a drop in sales around about the same time that the refunds have happened.
Funny that.
Yeah, I mean it's very these small developers are showing it as if it's a large statistic, which it really isn't. So. I mean, it probably is unfair for them in the respects that, yes, they're probably going to feel it more because they're, their idea of getting 3 refunds, is pretty huge when they've only sold 10 games. But at the same time, their games are only worth $2 each. So they made 15, lost 5. Well, is it really that much of a dent out of the pocket in the first place?
Yeah. It's one of those things you're gonna have to wait and see how it's going to affect indie developers or even the gaming industry at large. I still think, and I said this last week, but I still think there's going to need to be some changes made at some point down the road. Steam will go, right, we need to tweak this a little bit. So rather than doing it for 2 hours, minutes or an hour or half an hour to before you can't do a refund anymore.
Yeah,
Or
but
I think
at the same time, they need to be on the fence about this because, as a whole, they are meant to be representing the consumer, not the developer. Like these developers are making games and selling them to the consumer. The consumer is the one that is paying the money. They really need to be put first. But you don't want to scare off the people that are making the games. But at the same time, you don't want to give them a leeway to people off. So it's a very,
it's a fine line to tread,
backwards
isn't
and
it?
forwards.
And it's a particularly difficult line to tread when you're a company like Steam that is basically relied upon for PC gaming at the moment. I mean, there's other systems as well, like Origin and GOG and what have you, but Steam is really the juggernaut, and to implement like whatever change you make, whatever feature you introduce, whatever you end up doing, it's going to affect billions upon millions of people and developers and gamers and what have you. And there's always going to be someone who's unhappy.
They are the car salesman nobody trusts.
I trust Steam. I have no real. I don't have an issue with them really.
Then you're a pleb, my friend.
Valve could do no
You should
wrong
never
in my
trust
eyes.
somebody you're giving money to.
Well,
You should
yeah,
never trust somebody you're giving money to.
I guess so. Is that one of the rules you live by?
Yes. If you want to make sure that you're getting the best for your money, and to be honest, there's quite a few things I've bought on Valve that I have not gotten the best for my money for.
Well, maybe now you can return them.
But it's too late now. I can't get DayZ back. It's been too late. I've played like 30 minutes of DayZ. I can't get that back.
Yeah. Well, we're in a new age now. New age of refunds.
Yeah. The new age of refunds. And this is kind of sad that they took so long to get onto this because Origin, if you did have a problem with their games, they would give you the money back, no questions asked most of the time.
Really? Do they?
Yeah.
Origins run by EA, and EA is one of the companies. EA.
I know.
On the scale of platforms like gaming platforms, we have, in my mind, we have Valve at one end, the good end, and then EA at the other. GOG somewhere probably.
See, the problem is though that EA have excellent customer service, whereas Valve had shit customer service.
Well,
they're starting to catch on to it.
It's not that Valve had shit customer service. It's just that they didn't have customer service.
No, they really did. Well,
they didn't.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you put in a support ticket for Valve, they might get back to you by the time the game that you're asking about gets its next volume.
Yeah, I mean, I know Valve have traditionally been. I mean, I kind of understand that they have modeled their company around making games not on hand holding, which is what a lot of customer service is. But when you've got a company that size, you can't not say. I mean, you can't support your customers the way they do. So, or the way they have done in the past. But I mean, they said they're making inroads into customer service. So
yeah.
So that was the interesting. That was the refund stuff on last week. Other Steam news this week: Steam finally cracks 10 million concurrent users at once. That's what concurrent. So it was set on the 14th of June, which would have been yesterday.
2 days ago? No, yesterday.
Yesterday, shit. 11:43. I'm assuming this is Australian time.
Might be American, so it might have been 2 days ago.
American, yeah. So it was 10,052,175 people. Funnily enough, during the Steam sale. So.
Yeah, well, yeah, big fucking surprise there.
So that I mean, Dota 2 is still the most played game on Steam. Counter-Strike Global Offensive is second, and then everything else. So it's interesting to know. I mean, it's good that it's growing, I guess. Does that mean it's growing?
Yeah, no. Well, I guess so, if they've reached a new high. And like I'm looking at that graph, it was sort of like it's an up and down. It's a bit of a wave. So.
Well, it's a wave because it goes from daytime to nighttime. Yeah. So each one of those each one of the peaks of the wave is, their peak playing time probably, I'm guessing, probably 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Or in this case, in the middle of the day. So I'm looking at the graph right now. 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Yeah, 10 to 12 is probably, which is weird for, I would think. I would have thought it'd be like 4 o'clock in the afternoon when everybody gets home. But,
Yeah, well, I guess it's whichever country has it's the most influx at a certain time.
I would say it's probably the US, even considering all other
Yeah.
countries combined. I think there's still probably more US users than anything.
I've heard US, I think it's US Eastern Time at about 3 o'clock is the most internet traffic. It's something to do with college and sort of, when they're working on studies or whatever. It's like Thursdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays or something, 3 o'clock. And the most influx of internet traffic comes through.
It's an odd time.
Yeah, I don't know, it's weird. It's when they're meant to be studying and instead they're watching YouTube.
That's what we all do. What other Steam? Have you got any other stuff? I mean, apart from the VR stuff.
Really, I mean, I've been looking at the sales and they've been pretty meh.
Oh, you've been keeping an eye on Steam summer sales.
I have, and I've also been playing that shitty little clicky game just out of boredom.
Which
I
one?
got to like level 300 and something. The mini game they have going, so you can unlock all the Steam sales.
Oh no, I haven't
or
seen
you can
it.
help your teams unlock the Steam sales or whatever. It's like an AFK game where you just got to like click on enemies and you can upgrade your dude and
Okay.
yeah, it's just a silly little thing. It didn't work for the first day. Just to point that out. But yeah, it's to be honest, there hasn't really been much going on this Steam. Anyway,
Well, I
a
bought.
bit slow.
This is actually, it's not the first purchase I've had in a while. My last purchase was GTA, I think. Although I have bought something in between then. I don't remember what it is. So yeah, my previous big purchase was GTA, but I just bought The Witcher 3. Actually, I bought The Witcher 3 boxed edition, which is Witcher 1, 2, and 3. Because I didn't own any of them.
Yeah.
So that was like only about $60, $70, about $70, I think.
Yeah, that's alright.
Which is surprising, given that on GOG it's actually about $74 or $75 Australian, just for The Witcher 3. And GOG was supposed to be their flagship release platform, Witcher 3.
The GOG or was it?
Yeah, it's GOG Galaxy.
GMG. Yeah, okay, yeah.
So supposedly half the people playing The Witcher 3 actually have it on GOG Galaxy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to giving that a go.
Izzy's on sale.
Izzy.
Yeah.
After
$10
that.
on that.
That mainly because its name. I mean, I wouldn't buy it, but the name's funny.
Yeah.
What's next?
I haven't seen anything that's really stood out for me though.
Oh, in the Steam sales, yeah. I mean, I haven't
most
really
of the things
been
I
looking.
already own. Just.
Oh,
Reign
the
of Kings is on sale.
Crusader Kings.
Reign of Kings, that one where you play like the cartoony characters running around fighting for king.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen it.
Grim Fandango Remastered is on sale.
Yeah, remember we play that, or did we look at a video? Maybe
We didn't play it. We talked about it.
Yeah,
But we talked about it on podcast when it came out.
Yeah, video, and I was like, it's not a game that I got into when it came out, and I was like, oh, that's a bit of a piece of gaming history that a lot of people know about. I feel like I should play it, and I looked at the remastered edition and sort of went,
video like,
it's one of those things that's kind of passed me by, and it shows its age now. So like all the jokes are sort of like, yeah, that would have been funny 15, 20 years ago, but not so much now. But anyway,
Witcher 3 is only $54.
Yeah, $54.
Oh, it's only 10% off.
Well, I think the pack that I got was 25% something. I know The Witcher 1 was like $2, and then The Witcher 2 was like $4 or $5. So I was like, hell yes, I shall take all of these and never play them.
Oh, City Skylines on sale.
Is it?
Yep. 33% off, $20.
Wait. If I didn't already buy it, I'd have bought it.
The Ark's on sale too, the one that everybody over.
Ark?
Yeah, it's like it's what that other dinosaur game that they ditched. What was that called? Anyway, it's like a survival game with dinosaurs, crafting and all that crap, and everybody's put the shit over the last few weeks.
Okay. Yeah, I think I remember seeing something about that interesting, so I never went into it.
Yeah, it looks good, but I'm so done with this survival genre that I just
It's kind of played out, isn't it?
yeah,
It was the zombie genre that morphed into the survival genre, which is outdated as well.
I'm just dying inside about it now. I want something new.
Let's move on. League of Legends. It's a game I've never played and know very little about.
Wait. Just before we do that, we do have a question that is relevant to our Steam things. Pete, 10 blah 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 numbers.
Hey.
Will you guys
1038699?
Yeah. Will you guys be buying any of the Steam hardware in November? I have a short answer for that.
I have a question for that. Not really an answer. Well, okay.
Well, you said any.
Let's start with your.
Said any of the Steam hardware. So that's the VR, the boxes, the controller.
Oh, I see. Maybe.
No.
Oh, okay. Apparently, we're not buying
straight out no. No for me. No.
You don't like the Vive?
I'm not jumping on board. I've got nothing against it, but I'm not jumping on board it yet. I want to see what happens.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be an early of the Vive, given that we've both already got DK2s.
Yeah.
I'll probably
wait. For ages.
Yeah, I actually gave it to Otis the other day, and then he went away on holiday.
That's actually somewhat I'm thinking whether everybody else feels this way about VR, that like how we did with the dev kits. Like we played them, and yeah, this is fantastic. This is great. This is the future, and then we never fucking touched it again.
Well, I didn't really think that. I thought.
But yeah, you got motion sickness.
I put it on and went, "Oh, this makes you feel sick." And took it off.
I keep thinking about it every day. I'm like, I should play more VR. I mean, I spent all this money on this VR kit, and like I enjoyed it. And I get home like, oh, I really can't be fucked. So I got to set it all up, and I got to find a game, got to get to work.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be the Wii. This is going to be a lovely gimmick. Everybody's going to be like, this is amazing, and then it's just going to die off, and everybody's going to go back to where they were.
You think VR in general?
I think VR as it is now, because it's quite limited. I mean, I realize that people are already jumping ahead, which we'll talk about later with the VR, the controllers and stuff like that, and the Vive, how you got all this room to move around and stuff, and that's great. But there's a very limited space you can do this sort of stuff in, and I just don't think that we're there yet. That it's going to be in everybody's home.
Yeah, I'm a bit. All the stuff that I've read and all the things that I've seen about VR have all been positive. So I've been like, oh yeah, this is going to be the next big thing. I'm waiting for the big crash. The sort of like, oh yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of fucking around to set up and put on, and you've got to have a fairly good machine to run it at 90 FPS because you're running two screens and the rest of it.
Yeah, but it's not even that. Like, it's an amazing experience. That's what it is. It's an experience, and then you get over it. You're like, that was great, but I don't really think about it anymore after that. I'm like,
you think it's a one-trick pony?
I tell my friends, I'm like, oh yeah, it was fantastic. Then they try, it's like, wow, that was fantastic. And then you're like, next week you're like, so is how's CS:GO going, or fucking when's the next PS game coming out? Like, you don't really think about it anymore. It's like, oh, I wish that was VR, because you're kind of like, I would just want that to be the best it can be. The VR is literally just an experience with it.
So you don't...
Any game that is VR is meant to be about, wow, this is VR, not this is a fully pledged playable game in VR. It's just about being in virtual reality, not about playing in virtual reality.
I do wonder when the first killer game will come out, or if there'll be a killer game come out that basically requires you have VR, and is there going to be such a thing that it's just like, I need, you have to have VR for this in order to play this game properly? Like either first-person experience or a game that you can only play with VR, and will that kickstart a VR revolution?
Yeah, yeah, I just don't see it because all the VR games that I've played, the ones that I really enjoyed, weren't really games. They were just like showing me around the planets, or I was on a roller coaster. I was just being shown around in
Yeah,
a world that I could interact with. But anything where I actually had to be a character in VR, I didn't like so much because most of the time I'm like, this would be easier if I just had a mouse and a keyboard and was staring at a screen, or I'd be able to play better, or it would be VR because there's almost too much happening when it's in virtual reality.
yeah. I mean, part of the problem is you struggle with the controls for a start.
Yeah, that too. And you lose your bearings, and you get spun
Yeah.
around.
Or there's technical issues like it starts getting off center, or any one of the number of issues you have with VR. It's just I'm waiting to see if it's going to actually snowball into something bigger, or whether it's going to be always a niche product.
I just think this is going to be like the Wii, where it's a fantastic party game. It's just like that really great experience,
Mhm.
and and you can just be, you just have that sort of sitting in your lounge room or whatever with the limited walls around you and just doing really basic, exciting visual things, but nothing that's too,
Not really
I guess,
gaming, is it?
interactive. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not super interactive. It's just a journey or a story or just a a walk through fucking somewhere you've never been before.
Yeah. I mean, I see lots of different applications for this. One of which I don't know whether it's gonna. I mean, let's wait and see. That's the only thing I can say. Let's wait and see.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see what happens, but I don't have high hopes for this to be the future. I think it'll just be an exciting gimmick for a while.
Yes. So, in answering your question, Pete, I don't think either of us will be buying the Steam hardware in when it's released. I'll be watching videos with some interest to see what the general reception's like, and I'll probably wait until
I,
the Oculus actually comes out next year and see how they compare, whether one's significantly better than the other.
with
I
everything
suspect
else,
I suspect what we're
yeah.
going to have is a Xbox PlayStation 4 situation where they're both roughly the same. It's just a
Tomorrow,
model.
tomorrow, Sony are at E3 and Xbox, Microsoft are at E3. We'll see if they're ready to unveil tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Okay.
But
So, are you ready to move
yeah.
on? I'm ready to move on.
Yep.
We're going to talk about all
Let's
this
do
again in a
it.
minute anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
League of Legends. Tell me about League of Legends, Keeks.
It's a MOBA. Yep.
Give me more than that. Give me another fact about League
Um,
of Legends. Must have something.
um, it
Have you ever
has
played it?
characters. No, fuck no. I don't do MOBAs, mate. I tried Heroes of the Storm and I hated it, but not for the fact that it was Heroes of the Storm, just for the fact that I do not do MOBAs.
Okay.
They're far too one role niche, and like, yes, there's skill involved in playing that role and working as a team, but very one way strats. Like, it's not there isn't much shaking up in these sort of things.
Yeah, it seems like one of those games that I just don't have time to get into. Like, I got a pretty full schedule already. I can't be picking up, online games like MOBAs like this for to play, on
But
a daily basis.
you can't really just enter these sort of things either. You need to fucking study them because I'm not saying that. Although League of Legends does have a notorious, um, they're known for their toxic community, although a lot of fucking toxic communities, to be honest. But yeah, if you're a noob going to play League of Legends, you're not going to have a good time.
It's very much like if you join a Counter-Strike server and you've never played Counter-Strike before, expect to die a lot.
Yeah, it's yeah. But yeah, well, it's still obviously extremely popular. It's still number one on Twitch nearly every fucking day, all the time. So there's obviously something there for all these people to play it. But I never really got into it. I found it far too. I wouldn't. I don't think of the word for it.
Boring.
Anyway, I don't like it.
There's lots of words.
No, it's just the word has completely escaped me, and it'll come back to me halfway through the next subject.
So the reason we're actually mentioning League of Legends is that one of the teams, Team Fusion, got banned. Sorry, they didn't get banned. They got kicked out of the championship because they didn't have enough players. It's kind of important when you're playing competitively to have enough players. From what I can gather, they tried to submit a team for which they didn't actually own the players for. So they submitted a team, and then one of the team members actually said to the organisers, I'm actually not in that team anymore. Something like that. And then the organisers came back to the team managers and said, you've got 24 hours to find another team member. They submitted a new team member, also not on their team. So, and then they got given the boot. So, yeah, it's kind of. I mean, I think this guy was on their team at one point, or there was some sort of like he was being borrowed or bought by another team. I don't know how all that stuff works, but
yeah, apparently he got picked up by CLG, which is like one of the better teams.
I think he was a reserve player or something for the Team Fusion. I'm struggling to find his name at the moment.
Is that Hugh High? Previously in Fusion's active roster of players. Yeah, so he got picked up by Logic Gaming, which is like a pretty big team.
Yeah, and so he wasn't actually a backup player for Team Fusion anymore, but they put him down as actually playing for them.
Oh, so these are all North American teams. That's why this happened. Fucking North American teams.
What's wrong with North American teams?
Cloud9, CLG, they're hopeless.
This is League of Legends according to Keegs.
Oh, it crosses on all sorts of esports fucking fields. Same in Counter-Strike, CLG, and fucking
yeah.
And what I've learned from esports and betting and watching esports is you never bet on North American teams because they are unpredictable.
Like,
whereas
not turning up unpredictable, or just up and down?
No, they're just like they're never consistent in their play styles.
Right.
If you bet on or if you watch European teams, like you can expect them to do what they always do. You get what you expect, whereas North American teams are just fucking erratic.
Right.
Far too much.
Some gambling advice from Keeks.
Yeah. Far too much insider bantery going on.
Okay, I think that's enough about League of Legends. Let's move on.
Yes.
Next on the list, the Oculus stuff, which we've already sort of touched on slightly, but go over it again. So
Oculus Touch. Huh.
What's wrong with Oculus Touch?
Called the Oculus Touch, and we touched on it. Huh?
Oh, I see. You're making a humorous joke.
Bit of a joke in there for you guys, yeah.
So we've got basically two pieces of information. There's let's do the controllers first. So basically, what will happen when the Oculus is released in first quarter of next year? It will ship with a wireless Xbox One controller, not its own, controller.
Its own unit.
Yeah, it won't actually have its own unit at launch, but it will have. You will be able to buy them separately some point in 2016. Probably probably late
First
Q2.
half, I reckon.
Yeah, so I'm guessing sort of closer to June than earlier than April.
Yeah.
So the actual controllers themselves are like these little, kind of like the little pistol grips with buttons on top, and a ring that goes around your fist of your hand.
These look annoying as fuck.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I think they look alright.
Look annoying.
As someone who does not play console games, doesn't own a console, and doesn't really use a console controller, these look not that bad.
Yep, they look annoying.
So why do you think they look annoying? What's wrong with them?
Because there's bits hanging off them all over the place.
there's a ring on it going around your hand. There's not really much else hanging off it.
Yeah, it's going to tickle my fingers. It's going to be weird.
That's your problem. It's going to tickle your fingers.
Yeah, it's going to tickle my fingers. Nobody's going to wear that wristband. You're going to drop them. They're going to break.
Don't you wear your wristband when you have your remote?
Things. Your dog's going to chew on them. Like, it's fucking tragedy in a box, that is.
Okay, fair enough. That's a no from the Keeks. So basically it's got a ring around the fist part of, like, it'll go over your fingers, a bit like a knuckle duster, I guess. And that's basically for the sensors. I don't know if that's actually what they're going to look like on release. I suspect they'll probably clean it up a little bit, but that's essentially what you're looking at. It's like a pistol grip with basically thumb controls for with a analog joystick and some buttons as well, some trigger buttons and a thing that goes around your fist.
Yeah, not impressed.
Not impressed. Well, what would you use?
I don't know how I feel about these.
What would you?
I don't know. I mean, it depends. Like these, I'm assuming that these don't have any sort of gyroscopes in them, like the Wii controls or anything like that. So they're all off visual cues.
Well, they've got IR sensors all over them, and then there'll be a receiver, in the front of your room, so you can use it like a golf club if you wanted to. Cricket bat or tennis racket, whatever you like.
I don't know. I wonder how much they're going to be.
Yeah, that's the one thing they haven't actually announced at all, was how much the Rift's going to be, and so the controller's going to be.
A brand new controller, $8,000.
So yeah, they haven't
for one.
yes, you get one. So yeah, they've announced that they'll be coming, or they've announced that they won't be coming with the Rift, but they haven't announced the pricing for the Rift or the controllers. So great. I think it's probably what everyone was sort of hanging out for, was that they were trying to
how much is this going to fucking cost?
Yeah, the actual monetary amount.
I'm surprised that I'm surprised that they've added earphones with the wrist. With the Rift.
They've always been going to. I remember watching a video about a year ago saying they were working really hard on their earphone technology to make. They were working really hard because they were on the really high quality headphones.
I'd prefer to use my own.
Well, that's the other thing, is that they're actually detachable. They weren't the previous versions of the Crescent Bay didn't have detachable headphones. But these you can actually take off and run.
Yeah, right.
I do remember the guy, the VP, I think it was the VP of Oculus, I may be getting that wrong, was going on and on about how good the headphones were. And I was sort of like, yeah, people are probably going to want to use their own decent headphones. And they kept on going on and on about how much better they were than all the headphones out there. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think you know as much as you think you know about headphones.
The problem is that's just... Yeah, and the problem with that is that's just stacking money on top of it. Like, most people that are right into this are probably happy to use their own anyway. Because I don't want to, I'd happily pay $150 less to use my $200 Audio Technicas.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's all going to come down to how much it costs in the end. If it's as much as it costs now, then I think it'll be slowly adopted. Given it to cost $450
Yeah, but
plus at the moment.
yeah, but that's the price of a console, you know. So
yeah. Yeah, I mean that's the problem is that it's still the price of a current gen console. So
yeah, it's a bit more than your average accessory.
yeah, and as you said, it was it's it's we're not sure it's actually gonna be worth $450 given that you may only use it once, like I did.
Yeah,
Found yourself,
yeah,
makes you sick. You're probably not gonna use it, but we'll wait and see.
yeah. We'll see how it goes.
So yeah, coming in first quarter 2016, it'll have detachable headphones. It'll won't have any controller like any of the Oculus controllers,
Like
but it will
Xbox
come.
One controller.
It will come with an Xbox One controller.
There's $80 there.
I wouldn't surprise me if Microsoft gave them controllers for nothing, just so they could do their own, get them on the.
Facebook would have to buy them all.
Yeah, I think Microsoft would happily give them away, to get them on the Windows 10.
Yeah, if they're
Oculus
not
bullshit.
if they're not compatible with Apple,
Yeah.
as long as there's no iOS support.
Yeah. Yeah, so first quarter next year, I eagerly await videos of how it is. I'm not going to be buying one first day, that's for sure.
No, I'll see what happens. I mean, I've had my taste of VR, and like I know it was an early taste, and probably isn't going to be what it's up to now. But I still, I got the sort of the basis of what I can expect and what VR is. And as I said, I think it's an experience, not a
Day to day.
console. Especially this isn't going to take over what you're already doing. It's just going to be a luxury experience on top of what you're already doing.
Yeah. Yeah, well, let's wait and see. Next.
You're getting takeaway once a week.
That's a way of looking like Thursday night VR.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, it would be an interesting way to sit down with your friends in a virtual lounge room and all watch the same movie together.
And it's Skype and stuff.
Yeah. Moving along, the YouTube gaming service got announced day before yesterday, I think it was, and it's basically YouTube's answer to Twitch. It's apparently going to be easy to use. They're going to refine a lot of the processes that they currently use to YouTube, and it's going to have its own, it'll be like gaming.youtube.com domain. I'm.
What's funny about this already?
What?
That I've just opened this page for this gamingyoutube.com.
Yep.
And I can only see half of it because it's decided to move itself so far to the right that I can only see join in Joe Matt and then half a heart. It's not even reading properly on my browser.
Is this the actual webpage itself?
Yeah. Gaming.youtube.com.
What's wrong with your browser, sir?
I can only see half of this. It's far too. It's too far on one side.
Okay, mine's working.
It's not centered. Nope. I clicked on something. Triforce. Anyway.
You're listening to Keegs click on things in a web browser live.
I'm breaking things live.
Aren't you glad you tuned in for this? So there's very little information about this yet. I know it's coming to the US and UK first, so I probably won't be able to use it on day one. But I'm going to be interested to see how it goes. Whether they streamline a lot of the stuff that you have to do. If you've never used YouTube streaming before, it's a lot more complicated than Twitch. It's not like just a turn on your webcam and press the go button. You've got to set stuff up in advance. There's a lot of like security stuff you've got to go through if you haven't set it up before. It's a bit of rigmarole. So, and I'm also interested to have a dedicated place to for gaming channels like ours. So It's interesting.
Only for live stuff though, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's for live podcasts essentially, like all gaming streaming, like we do.
Yeah.
I did a stream this week actually. Streamed Half-Life 1 with Fotis. We both sat there and I played through Half-Life 1. We got as far as those. Have you played Half-Life 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got as far as those
Of course I have.
ninja assassin lady.
Yeah, I saw.
And we got that far when it was like, maybe we'll call it quits here because I just kept dying like over and over and over.
Because you're bad at the game.
Bullshit. I barely died at all. But that was fun. That was fun. So yeah, information about gaming service is light on the ground at the moment, but I'll keep you guys updated as we go along. Because I'm very interested in it. It'd be nice to have an actual dedicated place to discuss gaming stuff rather than in the big hoi polloi of all the other YouTube channels that are there.
They have a lot to do to catch up with Twitch though. I'm interested to see what they do with it, but they've got a lot to add in, make it viable.
Yeah, I mean they always bought Twitch at one stage, but I think that was always their plan all along, is that they'll go to either buy or build a gaming channel.
I mean, they're already integrated with Twitch, where if you go live on Twitch, your YouTube subs will be alerted. But the problem that I have with, well, not problem, but what YouTube need to do is that YouTube is not a viable income for streamers that are trying to make money from streaming, as opposed to Twitch, mostly because of the chat. Twitch chat, although it's mostly, well, it can be very, very toxic. Twitch chat, you have so many bots and apps that allow you to interact and do giveaways and just make money and donations. There's all this stuff you can do just with the chat that YouTube, as far as I know, and I've really looked into it, but as far as I know, YouTube doesn't give you that option. There isn't enough integration with apps with YouTube that you can make money off of.
Right. I'm posting donate now in the chat. Maybe I'll get some money.
I know that YouTube toyed with the tip jar thing, but that obviously didn't take off because it didn't come out of beta. So and that's what they are missing if they want to make this big enough that everybody wants to. Well, no, not that everybody has come over, but the people want to use YouTube over Twitch, because if you are one of those people who make or who made a living streaming, who stream every day, you can't do that with YouTube. You cannot make a living on YouTube doing that. You can make a living making content on YouTube, but you can't make a living streaming on YouTube.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you've got content creators, you've got streamers. Streamers go to Twitch, content creators go to YouTube.
Unless you're like me, who does it backwards. Although I don't go to Twitch at all, so everything's on YouTube.
Well, we don't, we're not nearly big enough fan base to be even considering making money out of this. But for professionals or whatever, or just people who happen to get lucky and make a life streaming, you can't do it on YouTube. You will not anywhere on YouTube streaming. You can get places on YouTube just making good, solid content and getting subscribers, but you can't make a living streaming because they are two totally different worlds.
Okay, I've been schooled. There's a lot of stuff I did not know about Twitch and YouTube, but now I do.
Yeah.
So
they are two different biodomes.
So how does the donation in the chat work? How does, like, I've sort of seen, I mean, I've seen Twitch chat before, but I haven't seen the donation stuff. I know you can like chuck in hyperlinks and stuff, but
Twitch works where you get subscribers, and subscribers, when they subscribe, they have paid you $5 a month to watch you, right?
Right.
So that means that they get a privilege as a subscriber. So people do like giveaways or whatever that are only for subscribers. Other people can watch you, but they can give subscribers privileges like they can see the first half an hour and then they go live to everybody else, or they can do random giveaways that are only subscribers and then shittier giveaways to people who aren't subscribers, or they can just do donations where it's just a typical PayPal donation, but it's integrated with the Twitch chat that'll come up on the screen saying this person has donated, then it'll say in chat this person's donated. Or if you say if you're watching somebody playing CSGO and you really like their config file, so you like you like the way that their HUD looks, you like the way their crosshair looks, you can type into chat exclamation mark crosshair, and the bot within the chat will pick that up and then give you the config file to change it to have the same crosshair that you can paste in your own thing.
Yeah.
It has better bots, and it has moderator bots that will look after your chat for you, and you just put in the parameters like, say, no swearing, or fucking if they use capitals too often, then kick them. If they spam, then kick them. If they say certain words, kick them.
Come down with a ban hammer.
It's just a much better system where streamers can look after themselves using bots who look after the chat, because chat is the hardest thing to look after. You guys are great.
Yes. Yeah, it's got chat and forums like corralling monkeys.
Yeah, but when you've got 4,000 people watching you,
yeah, I imagine
even having moderators. Yeah, even having like real life moderators, even if you got 4 or 5 of them, like that's so much they've got to get through, that you need these sort of bots that just do all the bad stuff or get rid of all the bad stuff for you.
You need a lot more automation than perhaps YouTube allows. Like I'm looking at the stuff for YouTube, and I can add a moderator, and that's pretty much it.
And that's what Twitch is good at. Plus, Twitch offers 60 FPS, 1080p. They're starting to bring in 4K.
Well, that was one of the things that I think was announced with the YouTube gaming channel, was the FPS stuff. Well, but I think you can do that with YouTube now.
Yeah,
like streamings. Okay.
Probably can. I mean, it's the future anyway. But yeah, but I'm glad that YouTube are gonna try and take them on, because at the moment it's only Twitch. Hitbox is becoming more popular, which is another one. Excuse me. That is taking them on. I mean, Justin TV's out of it now. Or
didn't Justin TV pretty much become Twitch?
Pretty much, yeah. Twitch just sort of took over all that stuff. But But yeah, Hitbox is the only real competitor, and it's not really competitor. It's a very small place, but it's becoming popular because it's easy to use and it's free, and it's still in its baby steps. But I'm glad to see that YouTube is gonna say, look, we can't let Twitch take all the thing. We're gonna have a go, and I'm excited to see whether they actually come close, because there's a lot they need to add on.
You always need a competitor to drive innovation. In this case, you can't.
That's right.
You only. This is where there's one large service or company running pretty much with a monopoly of everything, because they've done it best. But the problem with that is that there's no reason for innovate and get better. Whereas if you have a competitor who's almost as good or as good, then you're always pushing. You're always pushing each other to go forward.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that Vessel that came in to take on YouTube. I mean, that was a big, ha when that came out, and then I never heard anything else about it. I mean, it's still here, but I don't hear anything about it, because some of my favorite YouTubers are all like, oh, fucking find us on Vessel or see our latest episodes on Vessel, and I don't see that from them anymore. So either they've already gotten all the subscribers they wanted over to Vessel, or it didn't work out. Now they've just given up.
I'm guessing that the economics didn't work out, that they could actually stay.
Yeah, I don't think it did either, because I'm not going to pay. I'm quite happy to wait a week to see their content, an extra week to see their content, rather than paying money.
That's the problem. Is there's very few things on the web, and maybe it's just me, but there's very few video either. There's very few content creators that I would actually pay money to watch, even on a regular basis. The part of the problem is that everybody's used to it being just free.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a lot of people on YouTube that I want to do well, and I'm happy to support by watching the adverts or whatever, or just watching their YouTube videos.
Mm-hmm.
But in the same time, there is so many entertainers that I'm not going to pay to be entertained when I don't need to.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah,
You have an extremely flooded market with
a
lot of high quality.
Yeah, the internet is so massive that if one person's like, and even if I really love them, they're just like a great entertainment, and then all of a sudden they said, "Look, we want you to pay $5 to watch our entertainment." I'm like, well,
I don't really need to.
I really like you guys, but
I don't like it that much.
There's just a huge bag out here that I'm entertained with. I don't have to pay $5.
Yeah.
I want you guys to do well. Wish you the best, but I'm going to go over here now.
Yeah.
And that's hard. It's hard for everybody in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, we're still working out the market economics. Still working out how we're going to get paid for content creation.
Yeah.
In all walks, not just on YouTube, but in music creation, video creation, all the different types of entertainment. I suspect it's probably going to be ad based. I don't think the subscription model is going to really work.
It's the only way, because the thing with YouTube is, to make money on YouTube, you need to be somebody that can be more is better. You need to attract more people to get more money. Like, you can't force them to make more money. You can't force this small amount of people to make you. The only way to do that is to get more people, because you're only going to get the same amount of money from each person. So that way, then you need to open to more types of people. You need to get a broader range. You need to get just more people watching you. And that is the only way to do it. So you need to either be comfortable with what you're making and not be greedy, and be happy that you're set with what you're doing. Like, you're happy with what you've made, and you're reaching the people you want to reach, and this is going to be your ceiling. This is as far as you're going to get. Or you're going to need to start branching out and adding more more types of people that probably wouldn't usually watch your content. Or you're going to need to adapt to being more open to everybody else. That way you'll make more money, but is that really your content anymore? You're doing it for the money then, or for the people, rather than for yourself. So, and that's where it changes between making a living and it being just content creating, and that's hard for everybody. And that's why most people then change to MCNs, or multi-channel networks, where they get other people in together, and they basically start a big company on YouTube.
Vivo or Vimeo? No, Vivo. Vivo?
Vivo.
Yeah. You'll notice that any sort of music, like The Offspring, or basically any sort of popular music, they're all on the Vivo network.
Because they're basically the music network.
Yeah. I might interject one of the questions here because it's relevant. One of the questions we had from a viewer of last week's podcast. They basically asked about how we make money from our videos, like the We Play videos, and if it's going to ever not be financially viable. Well, I can tell you right now, it's not financially viable. The way we do it, we don't get anywhere near enough views to actually make any money.
We don't make money.
Yeah, and now none of our stuff's monetized. So,
our CPM, if you want me to explain it, yours will probably be about the same as mine. So the way YouTube works, for anybody who is looking to try and make money off of it, is you get a thing called CPM, which is an amount of money you are worth per 1,000 viewers. So C being the 1,000, and then per Well, I don't even
Don't know
know
what the
what
M
that
stands
fucking
for.
stands for. But it's just it's CPM. So for every 1,000 viewers, you will earn this much money, and they give you like a 14 something or other. Well, I think that's what mine is at the moment. Yours probably about the same. It's about be between 11 and 14. And this is what people who come in from other networks will offer you. It's like, hey, we can give you a higher CPM, we can give you blah blah blah, and that's how they try and drag you in. But YouTube will give you a CPM and it'll be say 14 point blah blah blah, and that means that for every 1,000 views we get 14.61 cents. Right? Cents, like US cents. So if we get 2,000 views, it means we get 38. No, what am I doing? 28 cents.
We can almost go down to Macca's and buy, or we can't buy 30
We
cent
could
cones.
almost get,
Because they don't make 30-cent codes
because they're
anymore.
like
They're all
40,
they're
like
50-cent codes
50,
now.
55 cents or something. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, like people who are getting millions of views on YouTube and are in like an MCN like Polaris or something are probably making like, for 1 million views, they might be making about $800 a video. They're the ones that are doing really, really well. And then people who put out 2 videos a day, like Game Grants and Markiplier and stuff like that, they'll probably only make about 600 a video, and that's why they're doing more and more a day. But then on top of that, they've got to do they've got to pay off their own fucking rent and all that, because they're living off that.
Yeah.
But then they've got added on top of that, because then for a lot of their videos, they'll usually be paying royalties on music because they're with Polaris and whatever. It's not a lot, but they won't be making as much as you think they are. And that is why most of them will take on these promotional things. Like a lot of them lately have been playing Sons of Icarus. That was a big promotional thing. WoW, a couple other new games. Like, they'll do these huge promotion stuff where they will pay them to play these games.
Yeah. Because I suspect there's a lot more money in that.
And then they also get money on their video.
Yeah, there's a lot. I suspect there's a lot more money in promotional, there's a lot more money, I think, in being a internet celebrity or a YouTube celebrity than actually getting paid by YouTube or by whoever they're with.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And that's why a lot of them turn to streaming as well, because they get this huge king who wants to stream that they can add on top of that donations and stuff like that.
Yep.
But then also with the CPM as well, is that even though it says like 14 or whatever, so it says we'll get 14 cents per 1,000, that is only if people click through. So if you have an advert come up, you need to either watch it all or you need to click on it. Otherwise, it doesn't count.
Yep.
And that's why people lose so much money with ad blocker and stuff like that.
Yeah. So to answer Callum's question about how much money, like, he was basically saying how long we're going to be able to do this for, given that it's probably not financially viable with the number of views that we get. And he actually said something like, you won't make enough money from the 1.5 hours of time that you put into it every week. And I'm like, one of the things I wanted to say to him was we used to put a lot more time into it than the 90 minutes of actual podcasts that we used to record, because there's the recording, the encoding, the uploading, searching, there's the research beforehand, there's the making of the intros, which personally, I mean, I used to do all the intros, and that took 2 to 4 hours. I used to do it on a Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
I mean, when I did them.
I would get home on a Tuesday, and we used to do it. I used to get home on the Wednesday. Yeah, on the Wednesday, and I'd spend 3 hours doing the encoding and the downloading and the uploading.
Yeah, so I mean,
I'd spend an hour like doing the backgrounds and whatever. So
yeah,
a lot of time.
Yeah, I mean, we were spending probably 12 hours a week, 15 hours a week on each podcast, and obviously we weren't getting paid anything for any of that, which is one of the reasons we actually moved to the streaming. We're trialing the stream, is because we don't actually have to do any post processing after There's no uploading we have to do. We don't have to create thumbnails or pictures or any of the that crap. It's just basically I spend half an hour before we start doing up the slides that you see now, and that's pretty much it. Then we sit here and we talk for an hour and a half, and then press the finish button, and then we go to bed.
We do this because we're passionate about gaming, and hopefully, I don't know, have some sort of insight or some form of different. We've got a really loud podcast.
Bloody hell!
Yeah, it was a loud bus.
It was loud. I know you live right next to the right on the road, but fuck me, that was loud.
Yeah. What an asshole! Try to do a podcast. Fuck. Anyway, yeah, we know we simply do this because we enjoy it, and because we're hoping that we have either some insight or personality that might be appealing to other people.
I'm kind of hoping that people actually like what we do, but we're still. I mean, we're 21 episodes, 21 podcasts in.
It's still pretty early.
After 3 or 4, we kind of settled into a groove where we do the same thing every week, which was fine. But we're in the stage now where we're sort of like the number of views we got aren't really going up. So we're interested in trying to find out what people would actually like to hear us or see us do, and we'll tailor it to them. And we're also very interested in not spending 15 hours a week on the back end stuff.
Yeah.
Well, for the stream, which is why we're streaming now.
Yeah, because the motivation started to disappear when we were sort of spending, as I said, so much time doing this, and like you said, the numbers weren't going up as much as we loved it, as much as we love our viewership. But yeah, it's a lot of time and effort for not growing anything.
Yeah, and a lot of getting stuff.
So which is why we've changed this, and as Xenon said, it's why we talked the other day, and we are trying to think, which we haven't found anything yet, of I guess how to make this a bit more, I don't know, a bit more one-off, a bit different to everything else, because a lot of this news, either I'm sure some of you probably or would have seen. I mean, if you're interested in gaming, that's probably the reason why you're listening to this. And if you're interested in gaming, then you've probably looked up a lot of this, or you would have heard about a lot of this. So I don't know what's more interesting than everybody else. Is it is it having a sort of different opinion on these sort of things, a harsh opinion, or how we feel, or is it do we speed through news and just try to catch all the things you haven't heard and maybe update, or go more in depth about things?
Yeah, I mean, we're still trying to figure out exactly where this podcast
where
will
the
fit
niches.
Yeah, and where people are actually interested in, why people would actually come and listen to us talk for an hour and a half. So, but we'll get there. It'll probably change a lot before we actually figure out what actually works. So.
We aren't going anywhere. We're just going to keep mashing this until you fucking like us.
We'll keep changing it until you like us.
Yeah.
So that's. Hopefully that answers your question, Callum. If you've got any questions, feel free to hit us up on YouTube comments, or you could tweet them directly at us at whatever our Twitters are, at Xenon_ST, at Keegs Kegel. I should probably know those off by heart. We've got one more topic. Do you want to take this one, or shall I?
What are we? Oh, the Fallout Boy.
The Fallout Boy.
Actually, I the Fallout Boy.
Yeah, I know.
Fallout 4 Pip-Boy. I actually watched when they released this.
On the E3.
Or when they talked about this at E3, and I am going to say up front, even though I'm sure there's quite a lot of Fallout fanboys out there, would not get this, because what they are saying it is and what they showed it is not worth what it costs.
So this is basically a piece of molded plastic, essentially, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's lovely, and when he came out on stage and when they were talking about it, he said, look, usually these sort of things, like these things that come out with these special editions, they're gimmicks, right? They're always gimmicks. But I'm gonna say this is the best fucking gimmick out there. And you know what? He's right. He's fucking right in what he's saying, because yes, this is a gimmick and it's pretty cool, but what how much did they say it was going to cost?
$189 Australian. You can actually pre-order them through EB Games.
Yeah, see, no, fuck that, because that's an extra $100 on top of what,
for a piece of molded plastic
that you stick your phone in. Like, the app works on your phone no matter what anyway. Like, you can use the app without this.
So in case you're wondering what we're
would
talking
stick
about,
with
it's if you purchase Fallout 4 the Pip-Boy edition, you'll get obviously Fallout 4, but you'll also get a piece of molded plastic that goes, I presume it goes on your wrist, which is really, really fucking annoying.
Yeah, it does. It goes on your wrist.
Okay, so it's a piece of plastic that goes on your wrist. It's in the shape of the Pip-Boy, but without the screen. So the screen, there's nothing in the screen, and you actually download an app onto your phone and stick your phone in it, and it acts like a real Pip-Boy. You can like press on it and do whatever the Pip-Boy stuff does. I will give it this though, like it ties into the game. Like, you can use this while you're playing the game, and it'll update you with real stats about what you're doing. Yeah, it's all real time. So
it's a second screen device, but you can do this on your phone. You do not need this.
Yeah, and that's the stupid thing. It's like there's not like there's a piece of electronics that tells the phone it can only work with this thing. You can actually rip it out and just use your phone as the Pip-Boy. You don't need a piece of plastic on your wrist, which I'm gonna say again, it'd be really fucking annoying when you're playing.
This is level 99 fanboy. Like,
yeah,
if you are fucking if you are like, I can understand. Like, I'd probably do the same thing for games that I really love, just for the fucking benefit of it or whatever, just for being a fanboy. But for those people who are expecting this to be like, and I actually had to talk to Pugsley about this, because he was like, this is probably the first time I'm ever going to pre-order something. I'm like, why? He's like, oh, because you get this, the second screen thing. I'm like, you got to put your phone in it. He goes, he thought that this was a standalone thing, and he watched it with me. Like, we were both watching E3.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you put your phone into it. And the first thing I thought of was, like, they say put your phone into it. I mean, how many devices does this actually fit? Like, how many phone sizes will this actually fit? Because on the thing, they had an iPhone 5 in it, or an iPhone 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, like, this screen's only so big. How many phones will this fit in properly, and et cetera, et cetera. And he also thought that you plug it in and it had its own screen in it, but that's incorrect.
If it had its own screen,
becomes the screen.
I might consider actually purchasing it, but since you got to stick your own,
that would be worth $100.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's a full $100 more than I presume Fallout 4 is going to cost. At least $100 more.
Yeah. And
all you seem to really get is the piece of plastic, and like I think you get a case.
It's plastic lies.
Yeah, so I can't really see a reason for having this. I certainly wouldn't pay $100 for this. You'd have to.
I mean, because this is all going to have to be touch, because the app's touch. So all these little buttons and scrolls and triggers and stuff, they're not going to work. Because you're going to have to just touch your phone. Which means that there probably isn't even glass in the front of it, because you're going to have to touch your fucking phone.
Yeah, I think it's just an empty, like it's a piece of plastic that you fit over your wrist with a hole in it.
You would get more use out of downloading a 3D printer, getting the instructions for one of these. Just print one out yourself. Stick your phone in it. It probably costs you another, ended up costing you $500 altogether. But then you can print other stuff. You could probably print your own fucking Fallout armor or your dog meat. Have yourself a companion.
So Keeg's not a fan. I'm also not a fan. I think this is just crap. So, but to each their own.
I'm biased though. I'm not a fan of Fallout, so I'm a bit biased towards this. But I wouldn't pay an extra $100 for this.
You don't like Fallout?
No, not really. I played, like, actually this is I played 3. I played it for about 4 hours, and I just couldn't get into it. The post-apocalyptic thing just doesn't do it for me. I feel that it's a cop out for visual artists who's like, hey, can we do a Fallout or a post-apocalyptic scene so that we can use the same rubble over and over and over?
Here's our palette of colours. We've got brown to brown.
Yeah, that's right. Browns, greens, a bit more browns, and blue, black. Yeah, it just doesn't do it for me. I just find it visually
Unexciting.
demotivating. I just don't. I appreciate it, but I didn't get into it. However, after watching the intro to this one, and with all the crafting and the building and stuff, I'm like, that's pretty cool. I might have to give this a go.
Cool. Yeah,
building especially, like you can fully fortify your own like settlements. So it's pretty crazy.
Was it the original Fallout? Did you play the original Fallout?
No.
I can't remember if it was the original Fallout. I think it was. We basically stepped out of the bunker or the silo, whatever you'd been in, and you walk around, doing quests and shit. But one of the things you did was set off a nuclear bomb in the middle of a town, and it actually changed
that's Fallout 3, wasn't it?
Was it Fallout 3? No, I can't be Fallout 3. I don't
Oh,
think I
well,
played Fallout 3.
No, I did. I did that because you go to the town. It's got a big fucking nuclear bomb in the middle of it. You can make the choice whether you blow it up or not. Yeah, it's Fallout 3.
The Fallout 3. Okay, so that was the one I played.
Yeah, because I blew it up.
Yeah, so did I.
I'm an asshole.
I wanted to see what happened. And I remember standing like really far away and then seeing this big mushroom cloud going. Whoa.
Yeah, just a big mushroom cloud is like
oh
it's
yeah.
like I just
kill everybody.
Slowly put my glasses on and went.
Yeah, so that was the last one I played, was Fallout 3. But that was ages. That was a long time ago, and I don't really remember much about it.
6 years, man.
I thought it was one of those things they churned it every couple of years, like COD.
Nope.
Okay, well maybe.
They had Fallout New Vegas.
Maybe
and a couple of other small expansions, but no, it's been a long time since it's been out.
Yeah, because I didn't play the latest one, not Fallout 4, obviously. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Well, yeah, I might.
And the graphics, to be honest, haven't gone leaps and bounds, but they've added a lot more.
Graphics don't really do much for me anymore. I mean, we're at the stage now where the graphics are a lot less important to me than the gameplay. So.
Yeah.
And that's the case across all games. It's not like graphics are nice; they make for nice screenshots, but it's really superfluous to the actual game.
Well, yeah. There's a limit though.
Oh yeah, I mean you've got to have average level graphics, but
it depends on the game really. I mean, if you're going for an old retro game, then sure, no, graphics are fine. If you're going for just an updated engine like Fallout, I mean, the graphics don't have to be super amazing because Fallout is mostly about the experience and the people and the story behind it. But if you're going for like say like new Battlefield or Battlefront or things like that, I mean, if there wasn't a decent graphics change, I'd be pretty upset.
The problem is with Battlefield and games like that is that I guess it's about the gameplay, but it's like competitive gameplay where I don't know. It's a murky area.
Yeah, different styles. But anyway, are we done with Fallout?
I'm done with Fallout. Yep.
About E3. Okay, E3 today. If anybody watched it, Doom, new Doom. Come on, people. Did you? I'm assuming you haven't watched it.
No, I had to work today.
So fucking gory.
Is it good?
It looks amazing. It looks amazing. Wow, it looks like Doom. It looks semi-amazing. But they tease it so well too, because they put out like this 5-minute clip of gameplay, and the whole time I'm like, me and Pugs are talking. I'm like, they better show the BFG. They better show the BFG.
Is that what all those bloody
fucking show the BFG?
Is that what all those Facebook posts were about? Or Twitter? Were they Facebook or Twitter?
Like Twitter.
Oh yeah, Twitter feed. Twitter posts, I had like fucking 10 posts from you all in a row.
They teased me, mate, that they were the worst kind of whores, because they played it all the way to the end, and then like, oh, that's it. And they talked about it for a bit, and I'm like, they didn't even fucking show the BF3. What the fuck is the BFG? What the fuck is this shit? And then they're like, all right, do you want to see a little bit more gameplay? I'm like, yes, here it comes. And then it gets right to the end of it, and the guy pulls out the BFG, starts charging it up, and then they end it. I'm like, you fucking kidding me? Didn't even fire it. They just teased me right into the end with it. But it looks pretty good. I mean, it looks like your typical Doom game where it's just fucking beaming through waves and waves of hordes of zombies and whatever
Yeah. It's not
horrible
like
monsters and shit.
the Doom
It-
genre
it's-
is not
it's-
really. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's gory though. It's really gory and it's so Doom gory. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean the
There's-
Doom
and there's,
genre
like,
is.
all these takedown moves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Like I was gonna say, the Doom genre doesn't really do it much for me because there's fuck all story. It's basically just shoot lots of monsters one after the other. Like Doom 3. Was it Doom 3 the previous one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of those games that had a big visual upgrade, but the game was shit. Like it was crap.
Oh yeah, the game was shit. It was terrible. But well, it wasn't terrible because they went for the next step. They basically did everything that they wanted to do, and you have to have really enjoyed the lore of the original Dooms to get anything from Doom 95 on, because like the original Doom had a huge background, but it was all in a book. It wasn't in the game because the game only had like a couple of texts every now and then.
Yeah.
There was a full on book that went all about Doom, and I was excited for the Doom movie because of that, because I thought they were going to go off the book, but they didn't. It was just fucking, I don't know. It was just Hollywood crap.
Hollywood crap.
But yeah. But then Doom 3, they did everything that they wanted to do with the original in the idea of visual fear. Like it was actually scary, and it was a pretty jump scary game. So I think Doom, the new one, is probably going to be well, from what I've seen, is going to be less about jump scares and scared. Like, it's not going to be a horror game or a fear game. It's just going to be mindless killing in the most brutal ways possible. Like in the demo, when he pulled out the chainsaw, that was just epic. Like, he just cut everything in half in different ways. Like he'd do like these takedown moves, like even with his fist. If he did enough damage to a monster, it would sort of go down into its hurt mode, and then you could do a takedown where you'd open its jaws and pull out its tongue, or push its heart through its chest, and just like all these really gory, cool things. So yeah, it's my 12-year-old self is screaming inside my body, ready for this game.
Okay, so we might get Keeks to review that one. I might give it a miss.
Yeah, I'll get on that.
Keeks is on the case. Alright, questions and comments? Well, you sort of answered the question that I was going to answer from Callum about how the podcast was going in terms of views and finances and what the direction we were heading. I guess we can sort of move
Finances, zip, heading wherever.
We also answered the question from Pete about the Steam hardware. I guess we can move on to what have we been playing this week.
A different game this week.
I saw. I was very proud.
I've been playing Dirty Bomb. Dirty Bomb.
You were like,
Which is actually, yeah, I've been playing it quite a lot. It's, I was glad I could play it this afternoon because I've had a few issues with it. It's still in beta, but it's pretty awesome.
it's also free to play, isn't it?
Yeah, free to play. Pay to win.
Is it?
Pay to. No, not really. I mean, you can buy stuff in it but you don't have to. You can earn it yourself just playing in game.
Okay.
You can sort of speed things along. It's good fun though. I mean, it's so much so that a couple of my friends I play with just asked me while we're doing the podcast if I'd like to join in a tournament this weekend with them. So we will be entering a competition on it.
Very nice.
Sort of
So what?
Australia, New Zealand.
So what is this game? What is it about? Give us a rundown. People haven't seen it.
If you played TF2 or you played Brink, imagine those two had a baby.
It's a run
You
around
watch
and shoot
that,
each
it's
other
sort
type game.
of- Yeah, it's a fast-paced, objective first-person shooter. So it's very team-based. It has a competitive mode, which is 5v5. You've got a mix of classes. I think there's 8 or 12 different mercenaries, and then you get different loadouts, which they all have different guns. But the way you get the loadouts is by, as you play on, you get experience, and as you get higher in levels, you get case drops. Like CS:GO, you open the case and you get a random loadout card, and the cards range in rarity from, I think they start at iron, and then like copper and gold, and then cobalt or something like that. They just give you like better loadouts with better skills, and you can attach that card to your mercenary, and then you can load them. You can pick them when you play the next game. So
Okay.
you can have a mercenary with a better loadout and stuff like that.
Okay. You enjoying it then?
But there's yeah, it's good. It's sort of going back to the olden fast-paced arena games, but more objective based. So it's kind of like it's as fast-paced. Well, it can be as fast-paced as Quake 3, but it's more objective based, like TF2 or Brink. It's a lot like Brink. If anybody played Brink, it's a lot like Brink.
Is it like loadout?
Kind of, but loadout didn't really hit the mark properly with what they were going for. Like this is what loadout was trying to do, but didn't get there.
Okay. Well, that sounds fun.
Loadout was a very, very basic version of this, and less ridiculous, because loadout was quite ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, we made a video. Or I made a video on loadout. I think we want to stream some as well. I can't remember.
Yeah, we played it for a bit. I mean, it was okay, but it just didn't have the legs that this sort of game
No,
does.
I felt no real compulsion to
doesn't-
play it after we played it for
No,
2 or 3 days. So.
it was fun and silly, and that was about it.
Okay. And playing anything else this week?
I haven't been playing, but I've been watching, if that counts. I've been watching somebody play Exalt.
Golf?
Exalt. It's a new horror game based in Russia and it's actually based on a true story about a couple of campers that all died, and the mystery was never solved because there was something really obscure, like they were all found naked in the snow, and they had like injuries if they were in a car accident, but they're in the top of a mountain, and they tore out of their own tent or some crap like that.
Okay.
It was very, very mysterious deaths, and this is a horror game based around it, which is beautiful. It's in the new Unreal. It is fucking beautiful.
Okay.
And scary. It's only just come out in Steam. I think it's still early access, but it doesn't look early access. Like this looks like it's made by a real proper company. This isn't the fuck around.
Okay. How do you
It's
spell
called it starts with X. It's like Assault. It's like XH something. Yeah, popular new releases might be.
Because I'm trying
there
to
it is.
find it on Steam and I'm not finding it.
Yeah, if you go into popular new releases, it's the 4th one. It's got 10% off at the moment. Called Xolat. X or Collat. It might be Collat. It might be K, because it's K back. Yeah, it's Collat. It's KHOLAT.
Aha, collage. Oh, I see why you thought it was an X because the K's backwards.
Yeah, it looks like an X.
Yeah, fair enough.
Assholes.
Um,
But yes, no, this is I've been watching somebody play this who has also given a recommendation. But if you're a fan of horror and suspense, I'd give it a go, because this is actually like, I thought about playing it, but I'd never find the time myself to do it. So that's why I watched somebody else play it.
But nice.
But it looks beautiful. It is. It's beautiful. Beautiful visual. Very like it's very throws you out in the middle of nowhere because you get a map and a compass, but you don't know where you are on the map, and you actually have to use um, longitude and latitude to figure out where you are. And every now and then you'll be walking along the path, and like somebody has scratched in the longitude and latitude, so you can figure out where you are and where you're going.
Sounds alright.
And then you find these camps where you can you can quick travel around campsites and stuff like that.
Making me want to watch it now.
It's pretty interesting. It's an interesting game. I mean, I don't usually get into these horror games, but I knew what the story was. I knew the mystery about it, and the game just looks so beautiful. And I want to know like what it is. Like and we still haven't worked out what the enemy is.
Okay.
So yeah, it's interesting.
Interesting. So that's $18 on Steam if you want to go and have a look at that. It's called Cohort.
I don't know about, yeah, I think it's Kolat or Kolot.
KHOL8, yeah. I have been playing. I actually haven't been playing very much this week because that would work. But I played a little bit of Half-Life Source, which I streamed earlier on this week. Go and check it out on my YouTube channel if you're interested in watching. Fotis and I played it. We had a good time. I think it was almost 4 hours worth of playthrough there. Played a little bit of GTA. I finished it now, so now I'm just pretty much mowing down pedestrians. I bought a game called Cook Serve Delicious, which is it's a game where you have to make orders that are coming in, and basically orders come in faster and faster and faster, and you've got to make the cheeseburger or whatever you're making. What that game that we played where
like
you had
Citizen Burger.
Is that what it was called?
Yeah, Citizen Burger.
What did we stream? That was hilarious. Yeah, it's kind of like that, but like less. It's not 3D. It's just 2D, and yeah. But the reason I bought it was.
I wonder if that's been updated.
We should check it out again, should we?
Look it up now.
You look it up.
It was fun.
So I think it also has multiplayer. The Cook Serve Delicious, which is why I bought it because I saw someone playing. I went, oh, that looks interesting. You can actually do local multiplayer as well, so I'm interested to give that a go. I also played a free-to-play game called Adventure Capitalist, which is sounds a lot more interesting than it is. It's basically
phone game.
Well, it's not even that. It's like one of those fucking click games where you just click the button, to get the
It is a phone game. It was on a phone originally.
Adventure Capitalist.
Yeah.
It's like that. What's that game? That Candy Box game. It's kind of like that, but with slightly nicer visuals, only slightly. And there's no point to it. You just keep getting better and better stuff. And you basically just keeps you coming back to click on it more. And I think the way that they intend to make money is you can actually buy stuff. And I was like, well, I don't see any reason to buy it. I don't. I gave up on it after like playing for like an hour. I had like $300 trillion, and I was like, well, that'll do me. But one game that I'm intending to play at some point before the next podcast certainly is The Witcher 3. I watched a few videos, and of course there's a lot of news around about it at the moment. So I'm keen to give it a go. I played, I think, the original Witcher game, or part of it at least. I think I had a demo or something, and I did enjoy it. But I don't know. I didn't quite get into it, I think, the way other people did. So I'm keen to give this one a go.
Yeah, I never got into The Witcher.
Yeah, it's one of those franchises that's kind of passed me by. But everyone says good things about it, so I'm gonna give it a go.
Yeah.
And I've got 4 friends who play this game. I think that's it for stuff I've been playing this week. Any other comments? Anything else you want to add before we wrap it up?
Last time Citizen Burger's Disorder was updated was about this time last year.
So probably no update since we last played it.
Yes.
Just want to have a look at very quickly. Is it in Steam? It's a Steam game.
No, don't be silly. It's a web game.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
God. It's been a long time since we played, but I didn't think it was a web game. Okay, well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
If anyone in the chat's got anything they want to ask us, hit us up now. Otherwise, we shall sign off and call it a night.
Oh, here's an interesting thing though. The guy that made it's fucking Australian.
Is he? That must be why we're all
Yeah.
drawn to it.
That must be why it isn't finished.
we had fun with it though. We played 3 or 4 nights.
I did.
I think it's probably still in my channel. Like, if we go and have a look through my channel. In fact, I might even.
Not the broken parts of it, but yeah, it's pretty fun.
Burger.
Citizen Burger Disorder.
I think the reason we started playing was because we saw of it, or somebody else was playing it.
Yeah, heaps of people played it when we.
It was at that stage where it was really popular, like, because it was such a stupid game.
Because it was funny and silly. Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah, it was about a year ago. I think we played. So, but no, it was a good game. I think the problem we had with it is there's not really any point to it. There's no
8 months ago.
8 months ago. Oh, maybe they have done an update since we last played. The problem we had is there's not really a point in the end. Like, it's sort of like you play it and there's no end.
I just like the idea of running a fast food place with us. Like, this is ridiculous.
Like,
maybe get us all to work together to make burgers.
I think we're making all these really ridiculous burgers. Like, we weren't interested in keeping making
rat
sure.
Burgers.
Yeah, we were making rat burgers at one stage. And we were just like, stick these two things together. Just set it out. Doesn't matter. Like, quality control, out the window.
And the fact that the game was broken actually made it funnier.
Yeah, the truck would keep coming around the back. We'd all like piss bolt out there to get the stuff out before the truck pissed off with our our order of burgers. So we ended up just serving like lettuce burgers because we didn't have any actual hamburgers.
I actually downloaded Heroes and Generals again the other day because it's on Steam now.
Yeah.
I'll give that another go.
Which one was Heroes and Generals? Was that the one?
It was a World War One.
Oh yeah, we should play that again.
Playing. Yeah, that's why I downloaded it on Steam. I'm like, it's on Steam. I'll give that another go.
My body memory of that is watching sitting in that Jeep and Dave was going fucking spastic with the map.
Spastic with the map. Trying to read his iPad.
All right. Well, we shall pretty much call it there, I think. Thank you for watching. If you've got any comments, hit us up below or tweet us directly at KeegsKegel or at Xenon_ST, and we shall talk to you all next week.
Yes.
Say
goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, everybody.